He's hit that into the ground. It's come up to Arif Sheikh. A few of the fans, I think, thought it was a crowd catch for a moment.
Well, it was a crowd catch. It just wasn't a catch.
Might have to mute Mel's mic as I'm showing a few more of the troll cricket Nepal memes. The thing that I like, obviously anything on social media, you need to take these things with a pinch of salt, and everyone, from a playing perspective, uses it in different ways. Some of the players are very active, like a Sampal Kami or a Sandy Plamachani, and others really do close to no posting. As good backing up will make sure that that's just the one run, as Nida Minoru ends up sprawls on the turf, as does anyone who runs a single to Dependra Singh Iree. Surely this wouldn't have been out. Oh, I tell you, it would have been gone. Another one.
If Scott Edwards doesn't have a massive rash all the way down his chest and stomach after this.
No, that's Nida Minoru.
Oh, is that one? Is?
Pardon me. And he was slow off the mark, and Edwards was the one who called him through for the single. He's put his partners in it.
All of
ridiculous
them.
Positions.
They've all ended up flat on their stomachs.
And for all of Iree's brilliance in the field and the speed of which he's doing things, he's not even getting close with those direct hits. Accuracy needs work. That is driven wide of a diving Iree. Going to take on the second, and Edwards will get home comfortably.
I'm sure you're going to ask about the running between the wickets when.
I will be. There's got to be a run out here, doesn't there? Before the day is done.
Goodness.
You can just sense it's coming. And the problem here for Nida Minoru is Edwards is very quick. He's not quite Iree quick, whatever he says, but he's very quick. Whereas Nida Minoru, it's a little bit of a hare and tortoise situation out there. He's not particularly fast between the wickets, so they have to be careful. That's a nice drive though. That'll wrap up a 4-run over. 26 bowled, 120 for 4. But yeah, sort of all the players use social media in different ways. Some are very active, some don't post it at all. I've seen Sampal Kami starting to do some vlogs, just wandering around the streets of various parts of this tour. Sadly, it was all in Nepali, so I didn't understand, but apparently there was hilarity laced throughout it. And then other players either don't post at all, or they have quite a few of the Nepal players of management now, and they'll just have their manager post their commercial things, and they won't do much on there. But I would definitely get across the message to fans that, do be kind. Always be kind. I know that tempers can get flared, and at the end of the day, it is just sport. It's a joyous part of life, and that's what it should remain.
And also, the players aren't ever not trying, and they're never not working hard or
spot on
doing their best. That's the thing. It's just there are times in sport when it goes wrong for you, or you make mistakes, or you have a brain fade, or whatever it is, and that's just life. Who amongst us hasn't?
Pulled very convincingly. Just the one bounce, going to race for 4. Not too sure about this KC option. Looks like the spinners are looking much more threatening to both Nida Minoru and Edwards, even though Edwards is such a good player of spin. And that was just a bit too easy, set up to be hit.
Yeah, it did. It really sat up, and it was angling back in as well. So he was basically just helping it on its way, and did so. But yes, this is the first bowling change you felt that hasn't really worked for Powdell. Just someone having to go and collect the ball. I tell you what, I don't think we've lost. Maybe we'd have lost one ball, but they've done very well at finding them, because there have been quite a few that have gone over fences and into backyards and on roofs and all sorts of places.
Speaking of positive messages, let's read you one, Mel. This comes in on Instagram. Achut Bata, who's watching on from Adelaide in Australia. He says, just a quick message. Hi Lenny, hope you're doing well. I'm staying up all night to watch my country play, and then I'm going to still wake up at 6 o'clock for work. That's the passion for this nation and the beautiful game of cricket. Associate cricket at its finest here today. Go Rhinos, says Achut from Adelaide, Australia. Lovely to hear from you, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the action. And I hope our dulcet tones aren't putting you to sleep. I hope that they're keeping you awake and enjoying the contest. If you do want to get in touch, if you have any thoughts on the game or who's going to win this, lots of messages about no balls and umpiring decisions that I'm not going to read out. But do just tell us where you're watching from on ICC TV. You can use that hashtag CWCL2 or get in touch directly with me, Andrew Leonard, at Cricket Badge. My co-commentator is Melinda Farrell, at Melinda Farrell. There is lots of talk about the big announcement coming up tomorrow. That's a personal announcement at my end, just to make any clarity of some confusion. Some think it's Nepal versus Ireland series or something like that being announced. There is no announcement of that kind, but I'll have a little personal announcement tomorrow. Keep your eyes on social media for that. Bipin Ariel says, Sandeep and Lalit, it's like Murali and Harath from the Associates. I don't think Lalit Rajbanshi looks like Rangana Harath, though.
Yeah, which one's which?
Well, no, he's given it an order.
Yes.
Whereas Basanta Regmi definitely looked like Rangana Harath. No doubt about that. Sujal says, hi Lenny, you do know that Nepal is more than just Kathmandu and Pokhara and the Terai region. I do, yes.
Oh yeah, a big shout out for Beergunj. That's where I've been.
Well, I can't read out every city, but I can give it a try. The likes of Bharatpur and Itahari and Dankuta, Dharan, Nepal Gunj, of course. Janakpur, gorgeous place is Janakpur. It's where the Bolts are from, the inaugural winners of the Nepal Premier League. Can give a shout out to the likes of Bhimdata, Garari, Dulakil, Burmatod, Kolhapur, Bidwar, Kalia. Another mix-up, another half-run-out chance, and they won't get it. Nepal is separated into 7 provinces, and each of those 7 provinces was represented in that inaugural Nepal Premier League. Bagmati, Gandaki, Karnali, Koshi, Lumbini and Madesh was a huge amount of cricket, and then the hugely popular Sudar Pashim side that was represented by the Royals. But there's also 77 districts, Mel. And from my understanding, despite the incredibly mountainous nature of some of them, there's cricket now spread to well over 30, maybe even over 40 of those districts. But simply parts of the country are so mountainous, you could barely cut a proper cricket field into it. Now that doesn't stop people playing the likes of gully cricket and cricket in and around the rural regions. But yeah, that's why historically volleyball has been the national sport, because it's much easier to cut a little volleyball court into a hill than it is a full cricket oval. We're breaking play here. Scotty Edwards is going to have to tie his own shoelace. Is that because none of the Nepal players will?
Wow.
Given the little bit of feistiness that we've had in today's contest.
Wow.
Look who's walking by. Bashir Ahmed right on cue. I don't think Bashir's going to be offering to tie Scotty Edwards' shoelace today.
Yeah, I mean, I realised how mountainous it was because as I was flying in from Australia and I stopped in China and made my way, and I'm just going to hand Andrew Leonard a photo that I took from the window of my aeroplane that has Mount Everest perfectly positioned in the middle.
If you are lucky enough to get a day flight into Kathmandu, approaching from the European end, it'll be on your left-hand side, the full peaks. It is, particularly if you're just coming out of a winter where there's been a bit of snow, or you sometimes get, although the majority of the rain is usually in the monsoon season in the summer, you can get these utterly incredible views. I was lucky enough to once come through there during COVID when it was very, very clear, but there was the perfect layer of cloud, Mel. And we were above the cloud, but beneath. It was, let's say the cloud was at about 4,000, 5,000 meters. And it was like flying, although the mountains were down beneath us, it was like flying through a sea with iceberg peaked caps. And luckily enough, I had a window seat that day, and the last air of that approach. Some of it comes through Pakistan as well as you approach, and the flights that come up from Qatar and Dubai, which are a couple of the main transit hubs up. It is breathtaking, utterly breathtaking.
Well, I didn't have a window seat on that side, but it was the kind of flight where everyone was so nice and people kept swapping seats so that everybody actually had a chance to take the photo that I've taken.
Now Bertel's slip has come out. It is the run-out chance again, and the throw just had no power. I'm not sure the throw went to the same end. Teja Nidamanoru ends in the same position, sprawled across the turf.
I told you they're going to have a rash on their bellies, every single one of these Netherlands players, because they have spent so much time face down on the turf. He would have been safe, but it took the dive to ensure it. Well, he was safe. It was always going to be safe, even, I think, with a direct hit.
It just wasn't a powerful enough throw. I think he's got no balance at all as he throws it. But just watch the running between the wickets here. Again, it's the problem. Nidamanoru is not as quick as Edwards. And it's another stumble and stutter step. Back live with you now. Slip does go back in. Chipped and just out of reach to the right. And more maniacal running. What is going on out there? It's chaos. Every ball, it's chaos.
It's incredible how Nepal are able to bring teams into their world.
It was a perfect catchable height, wasn't it? Just to the right, very wide of Dipender Singh Airi. Would never have been able to get there. Reverse sweep. Is there an edge? Anil Shah's interested, but I think Edwards has hit the ground here. If anything, didn't look like there was any deviation off the bat.
Just take another look. You can see that there was a half-hearted appeal. It wasn't full-throated.
Beauty. He's a very talented bowler, Kushal Bertel, particularly for a part-timer. 28 have been bowled, 128 for 4. Just see the drift and dip here, and then the lovely turn away. You would quite like to see the slip in. Look at that, beautifully bowled. Lalit Rajbanshi returns. I think this is a good move. I think Karen KC was looking a little ineffectual in his third spell.
It's the only bowling attack that hasn't stuck, either with a wicket or a real squeeze.
I'll tell you something that Nepal can do here as well. You might think I'm crazy, but they can bring this scoreboard into play purely because of the amount of overs of spin that have to be bowled and the fact that no one, even Edwards, isn't scoring that fluently off them. So it's just under 100 required. They've got the best part of... They've got more than 20 overs to do it. Sorry, it's actually over 100 required. I'm thinking that 227 is the target because of the 10 penalty runs, but the 10 penalty runs are built in. Pardon me. But it's about 5 and over now. But 6-7 tight overs, if they can do that, I think the spinners are more capable of doing that. Oh, beauty. And it could become a case where all of a sudden, in the last 12 or 15, they need 7.5 and over with the ball spinning.
Well, here is another beauty.
Oh.
Look at that. Oh, they're really bowling well, the spinners today.
Oh, good hand. Really good hand from Lalit Rajbanshi. He's done nothing wrong there either. More than entitled to dive his line. Collides with Edwards.
I think there was just a little pat on the head from Edwards as well. The other thing is with the spinners, they get through the overs so quickly that all of a sudden you look up at another 5 overs have gone past and the score hasn't progressed that far.
Mix of opinion. I think Irie and Powdell said, let's drop long off back. Rajbanshi said no, keep him up. Pressure growing. Oh, just shy of Rajbanshi. Dot balls always build pressure, whatever the situation. And Nidaminoru, he's almost clinging on out there, isn't he?
Well, he doesn't look particularly comfortable. He's been run ragged a bit.
Won't be a maiden. He'll keep the strike. That might not be the worst result for Nepal. One run from Rajbanshi's return. It's 129 for 4.
So that is another bowling change that's worked wonders for Rohit Powdell. He's done that particularly well today. As we have a look at the bowlers used. That's the right one. There it is. The bowlers used. So he's only used 5, but it's the way he's brought them on for short, sharp spells. And each time he has, with the exception of Karen Casey's last couple of overs, it's felt like exactly the right decision at the right moment.
And this is potentially, Mel, where now Powdell needs to think, I've got about 20 overs left after this one. I need to get a 6th bowler in. I need to give myself that flexibility. He's got 3 other spin bowling options.
Time for Irie.
He's got Dipender Singh Irie. He's got Bashir Ahmed, who's more of a capable holding left arm spinner. He's not really a threatening wicket taking one. And then he's got himself as an off spinner. I would think Irie is the most likely. Down the leg side, would be given as a wide. He could also bowl Arif Sheikh some medium pace. So he's actually got 4 other bowling options. It's only Anil Shah with the gloves on and Bim Sharkey, who definitely won't bowl. But I would think it's Irie time. Particularly I think he could generate a wicket-taking opportunity against Edwards, because Edwards is going to sweep him. And people don't sweep Irie very well. The ball doesn't bounce as much. It's speared in. He's a flat off spinner. Nidaminoru's all at sea out there against whichever spinner is bowling. Well, that's going to help him, because that was a rare drag down. Gets away with it. Probably should have been put away, but will only be a single.
Well, you certainly think it's not much of a gamble to bring on Irie for a couple of overs to see how he fares either.
Shariz Ahmed probably looking on as the reverse hit comes out, but straight to Arif Sheikh. He's probably watching on saying, why didn't I get a ball on this surface? It's turning square. Don't think he played a single one of the ODIs. It's 9 games, or 8 games, excuse me, that he sat out for now for the Netherlands. He should get his go in the T20s, you'd imagine. Good little leg spinner, Shariz Ahmed. Bowls lots of googlies. Huge number of googlies. Fans just causing a few problems with the side screen. Scotty Edwards has kind of been at the heart of everything today. And I go back to the point I keep making, is that required run rate is growing, Mel. That if Netherlands are going to win, it's going to be Scott Edwards who will have to be there and do the bulk of the heavy lifting. Still more than 100 required. Good stop from Bim Sharkey. There's always a single there. 30 have been bowled, 132 for 4.
That is another very tight over. This is what they've just, apart from Karen Casey coming back in and being a little bit expensive in a couple of overs, I've just found it so difficult. You saw there, Max O'Dowd, he went early, and Michael Levitt and Wes Baresi, they hung around for a while, made the starts. Scott Edwards, though, you feel out there at the moment, that is the key, because you look what's to come after, and there's not a lot in out-and-out batting.
Still no sign of a 6th bowler. Powdell's happy to trundle away with the 5 that he's used. Bowled him, and Edwards falls to the sweep. How heavily does that swing the game towards Nepal? And keeping Rajbanshi on has worked. He gets further reward for his consistency. Can Nepal seize upon this advantage? Or are they now ahead of the game, Mel?
That is a huge wicket. That does tip things the way of Nepal, I feel, because Scott Edwards, the captain, their best player of spin, the spine of the team, he departs for 30. And now, well, they've lost half their wickets. They're still a long way from the target. Netherlands, 132 for 5.
It's that one-handed sweep that he plays really well. Hasn't bounced. It's just kept low. He's exposed his stumps, and Rajbanshi, there's not too many more consistent players than him. Replay, please. Replay again. Same replay. It's come around his legs, in behind him. It's the drift as much as anything that's got him, but then the fact it hasn't really bounced. Just come a little bit wider of the crease this time. If you look here, not quite as wide as Marquardt. Drift in, and then maybe a flick of the pad. It's not the greatest shot, to be honest, from Scott Edwards, but Rajbanshi gets the reward for his consistency and his economy. He's so accurate, isn't he, as Noah Kroos comes to the crease.
I still wonder how he was left out of that first match. He certainly proved his worth today. This game is on like Donkey Kong.
It's on a knife edge now. It really is. I think, if anything, Nepal are ahead of the game. The reason why, it's their spinners. We said they'd pose a threat today. We're in mid-June in Dundee, in what's been frigid conditions throughout much of the series. The best day of the 5 thus far, but it's the third use of this pitch, and it's the 6th innings on it, and it is definitely starting to wear and tear. Just the accuracy has been, well, exemplary, isn't it, from Rajbanshi in particular?
Well, from Rajbanshi, from all of them, really. And I do just love the way, I know we've said it a few times, but how Rohit Paudel has not allowed them to settle and kept rotating all the resources he has at his disposal.
Lovely to watch. You talk about batters who are technicians. There's bowlers who are as well. It's such a calculated and consistent approach. Every single element of it is so repeatable, and those who face him say that he's very difficult to get away. It's now his 40th ODI wicket today. It's almost like a bowling machine, isn't it? It's again and again and again.
Metronomic.
His 46th ODI wicket, correction. Economy rate in his career, 3.8.
That's astonishing. It really is.
Fantastic numbers. It's a wicket made in 31 bowled, 132 for 5. Here's another good stat for you, Mel. He's got more wickets than he has ODI runs. He's 46 wickets and he's 38 runs. Nepal would love if that was 40, because then they'd have had a super over.
Oh, yes, they would.
The other day.
Of course, he was right in the thick of it. Right in the thick of it in that second game against Scotland.
Doesn't add much with the bats or in the field, but when you bowl like he does, he's for me, he's a banker on the team sheet, whatever the conditions, even here in Dundee early in the series. I think by immediate admission from Stuart Lloyd, they didn't pick the right team on day one. Now, they still won the game, so they won't argue too much, but they probably misread the conditions a touch, didn't think that spin would be quite as effective. As here comes another proactive piece of captaincy. Sandeep Lamachani back into the attack, and Rohit Paudel might be saying, I don't need to bowl a 6 bowler, I'm going to bowl the Netherlands out here. And again, it's getting the X factor, the wrist spin back on to the new man. Kroos likes to sweep, but Nida Minoru will have to face up first. He'll get a single, won't be time for a second. Can the Dutch plot away home from here?
It's becoming harder, isn't it? Because you're right